Welcome back to Jenny's World, keeping it fresh, keeping it real, and keeping it middle-aged. Now don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jenny's World. Details are down below in the description box. Now today, I thought I would share with you my New Year's resolutions and talk about that as the theme. Now, I'm sure every one of you have made a New Year's resolution over the last few years, or every year perhaps. I myself certainly have. And more often than not, I've broken it well before I've got past January. But this year, I made myself two New Year's resolutions, and I determined to stick with them. The first one was to lose weight. Now, I have made this New Year's resolution every single year, I swear, for the last 5 years. But this year, I'm really sticking with it. My second one was to not drink alcohol for 3 months. Now, I gave up pretty quickly on the not drinking at all for 3 months. And what I did instead was compromise for my sanity. And I now don't drink alcohol Monday to Friday. And I reduce my alcohol intake at the weekend, but only having 1 or 2 glasses. And that is really working for me. And I have done so throughout January up until today. So I'm really pleased with myself. In regards to my dieting, now I have been sticking steadfast to this. And again, I'm really pleased with myself. For both of these New Year's resolutions, I gave myself a deadline of the 31st of March, which I thought was quite long, but I thought it gave me something to work towards. My birthday falls in middle of March, and equally as a Christmas gift, I received a voucher to go on a photo shoot. So I'll be going with my daughter and my 2 grandkids, and I personally want to look great. I don't want to look fat and overweight, so I'm doing this diet to really meet that and also to kind of like get into better health. Now, one of the things I want to say up front and just make sure that you all kind of like are adhering to or following is that whatever diet you're doing, please ensure that you've spoken to your doctor or will speak to your doctor to take their advice and just make sure that the diet you're following is healthy for you. Now, that's really important because you don't want you all dieting and doing something that's not beneficial to your health and will just make you worse further down the line. So please ensure you do that. Now, I have tried many diets over the years and I found one that worked really well, and that was the Beyonce diet. Now, admittedly, I tried this between 5 and 8 years ago when I was much younger, and it seemed so much easier to do. And the Beyonce diet, as some of you may know, is really simple elements. Now, you have cayenne pepper, you have lemon, and you have a touch of honey, and you mix that with water. And that's all that you have throughout the day. You can have as much as you want, but nothing else. And you've got to be light on the honey, and it's really there just to add a bit of sweetness to that water substance that you're drinking. Now for me, because I work and I'm always busy, I would mix all of that together at the start of my day, and then what I would do is I would heat it up and have it as a warm drink throughout the day. Now, luckily, when I'm at work, I'm always busy in meetings, so it made it really simple to kind of like survive on that during the day. But when I got home, that was a bigger challenge. So I kind of like made sure that I have a couple of cups before I went to bed. And I often went to bed early, so I didn't notice the hunger pangs. And over the course of, I think, 3 weeks, I'd lost nearly 2 stone. And I was absolutely amazed with that. I managed to keep it off for quite a while as well. But that was one of the diets that I saw pretty much instant results, and that's what kept me going. Now, over the course of the years, I've tried to revert back to that. But I think the older I got, the harder it was to stick to that. As just drinking cayenne pepper, honey, and lemon juice with water just didn't seem to satisfy me. And so I tried different diets, and some of them worked to some degree, but most of them, it took ages to see the results. So I'd end up quitting thinking it wasn't for me. Now, the tail end of last year, I came across a diet called intermittent fasting. Now, there's various ways that you can approach this, but it talks about just regulating your meals across a shorter period of time. And what I decided to do was actually, that sounds really good, but I generally don't have breakfast, as I'm always leaving the house really early. By the time I get to work, it's really busy. So I thought I'd skip my meal of breakfast and really focus on my lunch and dinner. Now, alongside that, I gave myself time frames, so I could only eat between 12 and 8 p.m. Now, if I know I was working late, I would push that back to 9 p.m. So I'd have my meal around 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I wouldn't eat again until my dinner meal, which was normally about 7 or 8 o'clock. If I could, I'd try and make that 8 o'clock cut off, so I wouldn't eat anything after then. But often it had to be pushed forward, backwards, because I was running late and I didn't get home late. So I'd try and cut off at 9 o'clock. And then I wouldn't eat again the next day until 12 p.m. Now, it sounds quite hard. It sounds harder than it actually is. But as I said, I never really had breakfast, so I didn't really miss that meal. And I made sure that I had all my meals pre-prepared, so all I had to do was to warm them up. And that was working well for about 2.5 weeks. But unfortunately, we came into the holiday period. Christmas was around the corner. And all of a sudden, it was like I was going through a meal out here, a drink after work, and the Christmas meal here and there. And I thought, you know what, let me start again in the new year. And so I tied it in as one of my New Year's resolutions. Now, what I've done for January was I kind of like changed the food that I was eating. So I tried to eliminate pasta and rice and reduce bread. And I even went a step further, and actually for my meals Monday to Friday, they were purely vegetable based. Occasionally there might have been a bit of chicken put in there, but most of them were purely veg-based stir fries. Now for me, that's saying a lot and giving up a lot, because I come from a family of meat eaters. We all eat meat all of the time. And that's what I was brought up on, was meat as my main diet and fish as well. And that really hasn't changed me over the course of my lifetime. So to kind of like sacrifice that was a big thing. But what I actually found was that it wasn't that much of a sacrifice, that having vegetables as the main meal was actually really nice. It just all came down to how you season that. So over the last 3 weeks, I've been having stir fries for lunch and dinner. And at the weekend, I'd either have a stir fry and then have a small portion of meat, or continue on with the stir fry. And as a treat, I would then have the glass of wine to accompany that. And I've found that this has actually worked for me and is continuing to work. So I'm pleased to say I'm sticking with this New Year's resolution. I feel as I've lost some weight already, and I'm hoping that by the time I hit the 31st of March, I would have lost the weight that I want. And when it comes to that photo shoot, I look pretty good. So hopefully you'll be able to see those results over the course of the month if you continue to watch my YouTube channel. And what I would like is for you guys out there to come and share your stories with me of which weight loss diet you've used, what works for you, what hints and tips you've got that perhaps I can use. One of the key things I have to say that I'm going to start doing in February is the exercise. Now, I don't kind of like class myself as lazy, but when it comes to exercise, I'm like, oh no. So I'm not going to go and subscribe to a gym membership. I'm going to do it all at home. And we have a dog, so I'm planning to take the dog out for lots of walks as well to help with that exercise. So from Feb, I'll be doing a lot more exercise, incorporating that into my diet, and then hoping that will help increase the amount of weight that I'm losing. And most importantly, I'm hoping it'll be nice and healthy and that I can sustain it after my deadline has expired. So as I said, keep tuned, keep watching, and send me your feedback and comments and any hints or tips that you think have worked for you that you think may work for me, as that will be really useful moving forward. So that's the video for today. So thank you for watching, and remember, we're keeping it fresh, we're keeping it real, and we're definitely keeping it middle-aged over here.